It's everyone's favorite time of the year. NHL is right around the corner, both NHL 24 and the NHL regular season. And you know what that means? NHL 24 player ratings. Today we're going to be going through the top rated defenseman. Antivirus expired. Okay, thank you for letting me know. And we're going to start with the right defense. And I don't think the list is too crazy. I haven't really gone in depth in it, but let's take a look and see who are the top rated defense. I'm going to quickly go through all the way down to, let's start with number 20. So number 20, we got Brett Pesce, I believe is how you pronounce it, from the Carolina Hurricanes, 86 overall. Carolina definitely probably has another player in the top 10, top 5. Actually, no, they got Brent Burns right here at 17. I thought he may be just a little bit higher. Next up, we got Philip Roenick from the Vancouver Canucks, 86 overall. Definitely a little bit of an upgrade from the previous years. Let's see if I click on them, if anything happens. Low plus, okay, well, that did not work as we continue to struggle through the NHL website. Give us oh God. Let's go to the second page here. So Brett Pesce, Hronik, Rasmus Anderson gets a bump up to 87 overall for the Flames. Brent Burns, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, right defenseman for the Carolina Hurricanes, up to an 87 overall. And let's see if it shows. I'm just going to close this out right here. So it's going to be acceleration, aggression, agility, balance, speed, strength. Okay, so those are the parameters that we're rocking with here. Noah Dobson, also 87 with Jared Spurgeon, Ryan Pulock, and Seth Jones, all 87 overall. Again, I think it makes sense. One of the more underrated players, in my opinion, that people might not agree with is Jared Spurgeon, but I think he is a hell of a player, especially offensively. His speed, 90, acceleration, 90, obviously a great skater, agility. I wish I kind of had a little bit more parameters on this, but that's okay. Anyone else here I want to flag? The duo of the New York Islanders, Dobson and Ryan Pulock, obviously very good as well. Seth Jones, 87 overall. I think this is a little bit playing into his previous seasons. Last year was not his best year. But Aaron Ekblad, okay, 88 overall. I figured he'd be a little bit higher, but 88 makes sense. Brandon Montour had a great playoff run, 88 overall with Aaron Ekblad, just a slightly higher in a couple different stats, I imagine. But let's go over to the first page now here. And at number 10, we got Chris Letang of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't imagine he's going to be the only Penguin on this list as well. Moving up, we got Mo Seider. I believe he was an 88 last year, but 97 skating, which is ridiculous. Probably what's definitely helping his overall there. Drew Doughty comes in at number 8, still getting an 89 overall after all of these years. Alex Pietrangelo, 89 overall. Again, from these rankings, I'm not opposed to anything yet. I don't know Chris Letang. I haven't watched him play too much recently, but benefit of the doubt, he's probably good. John Carlson is the first 90 overall defenseman released in this top 6 here. I think John Carlson is one of the most underrated defensemen in the entire NHL. If you're a Washington Capitals fan, you understand. He's been robbed of the Norris Trophy 2 times, in my opinion, but I don't want to rant too much on him. And the next one is going to be Dougie Hamilton, the goal-scoring machine from the back end, a Canadian sensation. So far, 4 Canadians out of 5 to 10, which is 4 for 6. Good math, Austin. There you go. Dougie Hamilton scores goals on a good young team. I'm okay with that. Number 5. Number 4, the reigning Norris champion, the reigning Norris Trophy winner, Erik Karlsson, the newest member of the Pittsburgh Penguin, the Super Swede, 91 overall. I'm surprised he's at 4 with the season he just had, but I imagine the 3 above him are absolute studs. Even at 91, his offensive skills are going to be absolutely through the roof. I wouldn't even mind to see him at 92 or 93, but that's just because I'm a diehard Sens fan, and I obviously love EK65 with all my heart. Number 3, speak of offensive defensemen, enter the chat, Adam Fox, 92 overall. His offensive and skating abilities are absolutely second to none. And if you look at it in that particular, well, I'm sure number 1 actually will give him a run for his money. But Adam Fox always seems to make the right play, is always putting up 2 to 3 assists per game, it seems like some nights. Interesting character, if I'm being honest. But the New York Rangers definitely found a stud in Adam Fox. And at number 2, it is the Boston Bruins' Charlie McAvoy, who has definitely received an upgrade from last year. I do not believe he was 92 overall, but all around just a stud of a defenseman. And 92 overall, I can't give enough praise to the guy. He is going to need to carry this Boston team because they did get a lot worse in the offseason, losing some key players such as captain Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci, Taylor Hall, Bertuzzi. They lost a bunch of players, but Charlie McAvoy is definitely the star of that franchise with David Pastrnak and Brad Marchand, who just recently was named the captain. And number one, none other than Cale Makar, 95 overall for the cover boy. And these are all of his stats here. He's got the wheels, 86, faceoff 60s. Oh, wow. Yeah, just 90 across the board. 97 on deking, 95 on poise, 97 on passing. Offensive awareness, defensive awareness is probably through the roof as well. But the only issue I have with this list for the right defenseman is Cale Makar really 3 overalls better than the next player? I know Cale Makar is good, but is that just because he's cover boy? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But let's go take a look at the left defenseman now. We're going to go over to the second page, and we're starting with an 87 overall Mackenzie Weegar, 87 as I mentioned. I think it's just about right for him. Top 20 in the league in his position. I'm not too concerned about that. I think that it's a good ranking for Weegar. Morgan Rielly, the first Toronto Maple Leaf that we see on here, 87 overall as well. Again, a really gifted offensive defenseman. We won't go too much in detail on these players. Jonas Brodin playing with Jared Spurgeon, 87 overall. Darnell Nurse at 87 overall. I think Darnell Nurse could have probably been lower. I did not think he had a great year last year. I do like watching Edmonton games. Obviously, you gotta watch McDavid out there. It's just a special thing to see him with the puck. But 87 overall, I may even put him 86, 85. I mean, but is he worse than 20 other players? Probably not. Maybe I'm just being a little too hard on him. But one of the other defensemen on the Edmonton Oilers, Matthias, however they say it, I think it's Matthias Ekholm, 87. I thought he was very good for the Edmonton Oilers, coming in at the 87 overall. Then we got Vinny Dunn, who basically got picked up for nothing by Seattle, and it was a great pickup, 87 overall. I think he's really good. Rowinski, 87, and then moving up to the next echelon, we have Hampus Lindholm at an 88 overall for the Boston Bruins. I think I like Lindholm. I liked him when he was on Anaheim, and I think he's a really good defenseman. Do I think he's better than a couple of these players? He might be a little bit high, but he was like probably a plus 60 last year, so I can't take that away from him. Adam Pelech, he is young, but it looks like he's about 62 years old with that haircut. 88 overall. Mikhail Sergachev, 88 overall for the Tampa Bay Lightning, another stud from Russia. Yeah, I mean, on that team, everyone kind of looks a little bit better, though. First page now. At 10, we got Thomas Chabot. Well, as a Sens fan, we do like Chabot, but he had a horrendous year last year, in my opinion. I think he's poised for a breakout, bounce back year, especially when you're playing 30 minutes a night. It's a little tough to keep not making mistakes, but Chabot comes in at number 10, and then Jacob Slavin, the third defenseman for the Carolina Hurricanes in this list, 88 overall. And then moving up one more echelon, now we got Devon Toews, the D partner of Cale Makar, Canada's future in the the Olympics. That is a good duo to have with Devon Toews and Cale Makar. Devon Toews doesn't nearly get talked about as much as he probably should, but he's an absolute defensive specialist. Moving up, another Canadian, got Josh Morrissey. I think he is a very, very good player that's underrated because the Winnipeg Jets have not been as good as they probably should have in the past 4 to 5 years. But Josh Morrissey, always producing offensively, a really good key player in the neutral zone as well as defensive zone, and of course the offensive zone hero. So basically in all zones, that's why he's ranked at 89 overall. Shea Theodore, I find, is very similar to Josh Morrissey, actually. They used to, sorry, they did not play together. I'm sorry. My hockey knowledge is not good in the offseason. But 89 overall for Shea Theodore on the Vegas Golden Knights, who have become a cup contender every year since entering the league, which is absolutely ridiculous. Moving on to Miro Heiskanen, 90 overall. So our next 90 overall player, Heiskanen, is a stud. He is a beast. Dallas should be making cup runs every year with the team they have. Heiskanen is one of the best two-way defensemen in the league. They have, stars all around. They just signed Duchesne as well, Jason Robertson, Rupie Hintz. They got a good squad there. Quinn Hughes coming in at number 4. I believe he's probably so high. I think he's a very good defenseman, but he's probably so high for his offensive stats. Not as much as his defenseman. Yeah, and his skating, like at 96, 95, 95. His offensive stats and skating is definitely going to bring him up. Bringing us up to 3, Rasmus Dahlin, the former first overall pick. He's probably one of the best. He's so far the best two-way defenseman on the list, in my opinion. I think him and Heiskanen are very similar, but they're not. It's kind of weird. I don't know why these have NA. They definitely are left defense. But 91 overall for Rasmus Dahlin. Number 2, Victor Hedman at 93 overall. Probably the best defensive defenseman in the league, just of how big he is. He can also score, which is absolutely terrifying to defenders. He's probably ranked a little bit higher than most of these defensemen just because of the body checking and physical category. He is a big, big boy. And at number 1, that means it's got to be Roman Josi, one of the most handsome players in the NHL, 94 overall. And he is, in my opinion, the best all-around defenseman in the league. I think Cale Makar is almost there. Cale Makar probably is a little bit more efficient offensively, but if you look at the team that Roman Josi is playing with compared to Cale Makar, there is a little bit of a gap. You know, Josi doesn't have no Landeskog, he doesn't have no Nate McKinnon, doesn't have any Rantanen, he doesn't have a Devon Tays, so it's always interesting to see how Roman Josi is still able to produce every year, but those are the defensemen. So the top 2 defensemen in the league are going to be Cale Makar at a 95 overall and then Roman Josi at a 94 overall. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Did they get these comments right? It's only time will tell. The left wings, if you haven't seen it, Tkachuk's up to a 94, quickly Ovi 91, and then right wings, we have David Pastrnak leading the way at 95 overall. Nikita Kucherov, Rantanen, Marner, Stone, Svechnikov, Pavelski, well, he deserves that rating. Patrick Kane's still without a team, but that's for another video. Let me know what you think in the comments below of the ratings, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.